Hello and welcome everyone to the latest top 10 SCPs list. So I got to thinking, sure there are some horrific SCPs out there, but I always felt like some of the classifications seemed a bit misleading at times. I got to thinking this after someone mentioned in my top 10 world-ending SCPs list that quite a few of them were in fact considered safe. So today, we'll be going over some of the creepiest things that lurk in the safe class of the SCP Wiki. Enjoy. Here at the number 10 spot, we have no iPhone. Don't be fooled though, it is an iPhone. An Apple iPhone, in fact. And anyone who touches it will begin hearing the song Can't Take My Eyes Off You by Walk Off the Earth, and will drop it, then be unable to move until the song has ended. After this, they claim that wherever an eye should be, they detect an empty area. They also deny the fact that they themselves have eyes. There really isn't a whole lot of information on this, as the wiki article is actually very short, but I personally would much prefer not having everyone look like a horror movie villain. At the number 9 spot, we have Ronald Reagan caught up while talking, which is not so much threatening as it is disturbing. What it amounts to is former President Ronald Reagan delivering a speech which slowly deviates as the film goes on. He begins addressing topics such as torture, child molestation, and ritual sacrifice. Oftentimes, the crowd laughs and cheers at all this. Also, he rapidly becomes more injured, with cuts appearing all over his body. Despite this, he continues to deliver his speech until his lungs have severed or the tape reverts to static. Also, in some cases, a strange hooded figure remains in the background of the tape and is never addressed. He just stands there, menacingly. Only once has anything about it been directly focused on, where for 7 seconds a single frame stood on the tape, with the figure standing there and the words, "I see you" in red were directly beneath it. I'll just say this, if I had this tape in my house, nobody would ever be allowed to watch it. The number 8 spot goes to the portrait. It's, well, a portrait. More specifically, a portrait of what seems to be a pancake with an eye on the plate, with silverware, a glass, and a bottle of wine nearby. Supposedly, this is the version with critical parts missing to avoid mimetic effects. The original is said to cause frequent paranoia in anyone who stares at it too long or gets too close, causing them to constantly think that anything with eyes or eye-like figures are watching them. Individuals suffering from this even claim that they make eye contact with others whose heads are turned away, and in extreme cases, inanimate objects are seen staring at them, with this condition lasting until death. At number 7, there's Drunkshirt, a gray sweatshirt which has a faint scent of rotten eggs. And that's it. It's horrifying. Just kidding. When an individual wears this shirt, small strands of fiber will penetrate the arms and torso of the person, and after a certain period of time, it will begin to absorb the internal heat of the subject, while simultaneously releasing alcohol into the bloodstream. This causes inebriation in the victim and rapidly chills them, typically resulting in hypothermia and death within a few hours. I would just like to remind everyone that this is considered safe. For number 6, there's the vision-altering sculpture, a fairly odd-looking sculpture with spheres at the end of many segments of metal. While in direct presence of it, vision will begin to deteriorate, with the rods and cones of the eyes disappearing and leaving the subject unable to make out different shapes and colors. After about 7 hours, they will become completely blind. Vision will slowly return, and they will be able to differentiate colors and shapes again. And vision even becomes sharper. However, hallucinations follow soon after, with ghosts or other such entities appearing before them, and causing mental degradation and loss of brain functions. Once all parts of the brain cease to function, the subject enters a catatonic state and expires within hours. At the number 5 spot, we begin seeing more aggressive SCPs, and with a name like the ice cream truck, you just know we're in for a good time. It's a self-operating ice cream truck with a tune playing as it drives along slowly between the hours of 2 and 5 a.m. Anyone hearing the tune will be tempted to approach said ice cream truck in an attempt to purchase a delicious frozen dairy treat. However, once they are close enough, the back doors will open and they will wander in, the doors closing and becoming virtually impossible to open. Once the truck stops all operation, it may be interacted with normally, and the back of the truck can be examined to find the freezer. And inside the freezers, one can find a selection of frozen treats. These flavors include chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, and human blood. Bobble is a clown, a children's cartoon clown. He has his own TV series, Bobble the Clown. Bobble makes these episodes himself and goes on many adventures. No grown-ups are allowed to watch Bobble, only the kids. Grown-ups fall asleep when Bobble comes on, and the kids get to watch him until it's over. Bobble likes to teach the kids lots of things, like cannibalism, murder, and torture. One episode, he takes a man away and teaches how to prepare a man for cooking and eating. Another, he lights a big building on fire, leaving only the sights and sounds of burning people inside. In his next episode, he stabs a woman whom he followed for many hours. The next episode, he tortured a soldier in a war camp and demanded answers to many questions. And in the next, titled, Bobble Hates You, he sits on a chair in a blank room, staring angrily at the screen for 30 minutes. Watching too much Bobble leaves children with nightmares forever. Remember, everyone, Bobble does not love you. He hates you. Up next at number 3, there's the foot of the bed. It is in fact a bed. Not just any bed, however, because when anyone lies down on it, falling asleep with their feet exposed, a strange 3-foot-long hand will emerge from the end of the bed and tap on the end of the person's feet until they awaken. Despite being awake, they will be unable to move or otherwise defend themselves from the creature, who will then begin to rip off the flesh of the feet of the victim, pulling all skin, muscles, and fibers inside the bed. This ceases once everything up to the subject's ankles has been removed, leaving the victim entirely without feet. A monster living under the bed and stealing your feet? That's creepy enough in my books. At number 2, we have the Camouflage Crawler, a flat predator which hides by placing itself over a horizontal surface as it waits for passing by prey. It is also able to recolor itself similar to a chameleon to blend in with its surroundings. Once prey is within range, it opens a wide mouth and begins forcing them down its throat. There's not too much to say about this, but a hidden predator that can appear at any flat surface, well, as long as you aren't walking across any flat ground anymore, you'll probably be fine. And the number 1 scariest Safe-Class SCP is Grammy Nose. At first glance, this doesn't seem to be too terribly creepy, other than how disturbing human-like puppets can be, but there's more than meets the eye here. If someone approaches this fortune-telling machine, a somewhat cryptic and eerie message is given to the person. Such messages include, "You try to be good, you should try harder. Some people don't know how to be kind. You'll know soon enough, won't you?" And, "Do you think they've forgotten?" Among others. However, this is only the beginning of the horrors that await this particular safe SCP. At the next time of 1:43 a.m., an entity known as SCP-517-1 will begin hunting down the receiver of the message. It is a varying number of long, multi-jointed arms which pursue the target and drag them to a secluded area, where they are savagely beaten until sunrise. The only thing left to say is, who thought this could be deemed safe? Well, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you liked it, tell me in the comments. Remember to rate if you want to rate, comment if you want to comment, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. See ya!